Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and welcome to a bonus episode of Change My Mind Nerd Edition. Now, when I released this episode of the Black Widow solo movie, I'm not excited. Changed my mind. I had a lot of interesting conversations, but one person, man, she really didn't like me. She got heated with me. I thought it was actually a fascinating conversation. I like these types of conversations, but I thought this person deserved her own video. So, without further ado, I wanted to share Leeloo Dallas Multi Pass. Let's see if Leeloo Dallas cares.
I fucking care about.
Oh, come on. Want to talk about? Yeah, we got multi-passes here. Multi-pass. Leeloo, I am not excited about the Black Widow solo movie. Changed my mind.
Why are you not excited though?
One, she's dead.
So? You don't want to know about her backstory? You don't care that someone's dead?
No, I mean, the story has been told beautifully with Endgame. I don't need to go back and hear more.
It's been told beautifully. Tell me.
Because she had a ballet school of ninjas that we saw in Ultron. We've seen her struggle through 10, 12 movies. In Endgame, we saw her at the bottom of her character arc, where she was just like broken. And then she saw her best friend, Ronan, go off on such a tirade. And then she had to like give that amazing quote of like, I don't judge people for their worst mistakes. And then she, out of everything she's done in her life, gives her own life to give him his. It's a beautiful story. It's over. It's done. Marvel should have made this movie 4 years ago. I don't care anymore. I love the character, but they're a little too late for me. I'm just not excited.
As a male, I would expect that because you only expect so much, which isn't a lot. So, saying that, there's a lot to Black Widow. You have not delved into the depths of Black Widow. There is so much of a story, and as a male, you're happy seeing the stories of Iron Man, who has, how many movies is it? Oh, ridiculous, more than is necessary.
3.
Yeah, more than necessary. Did you appreciate 3?
No, I only like one of them.
Yeah, exactly. 2 was fine. But we had to make 3 without making a movie for Black Widow, who has the most depth in any character from everything she's gone through. But hey, as a man, it's fine because we saw she was a ballerina or she went through the Russian school or whatever, and it's fine because I don't care about the depth because all I care about is penises, right?
Well, no, I said the depth. I said the depth of the character was told really well in Endgame and other movies, and I said they should have made this movie 5 years ago.
Okay.
They
didn't make it 5 years ago. So
right.
We have to make up for it now.
Why do we have to make up for it now? We just had Endgame. We need to move forward, and we should come up with a new female character. Monica Rambeau. There's a million female characters that we could move forward with.
How can you close a chapter without knowing the originals?
Well, like let's use the prequels as an example. Okay. Darth Vader looks like an idiot because of the prequels. Sometimes the mystery of a character is more effective.
That's your opinion.
Well, no, sure, but that's what we're doing here. We have opinions,
That's
right?
your opinion. We have a new generation.
I mean, a lot of people don't like the prequels.
No, we have a new generation that doesn't know anything about Darth Vader, and we have a new generation that got involved in Star Wars because of the prequels. They may not be the favorites, but we have a whole new generation that was involved in Star Wars because of the prequels.
Sure, and then we had a lot of people who didn't like it because of the prequels.
So?
But my point is sometimes the backstory doesn't help. Watchmen, as an example. Watchmen's a great.
Watchmen. I'm talking about.
My point is, I'm just trying to give you examples where sometimes the mystery is not necessary because Solo, as a movie, doesn't tell me more about Han Solo.
No, Solo is an amazing movie. It's an amazing movie.
Why is it amazing?
Because it is. Everyone is so okay. Star Wars fan. I'm a Star Wars fan. Look at my Boba Fett.
That's a Boba Fett tattoo.
Hardcore Star Wars fan.
Okay.
I was the original that was like, I don't want to see Solo. It's not Harrison Ford. It's not the same. Honestly, Solo's one of my favorite Star Wars movies. It's different. It goes into the depth. It goes into Kira. It goes into everything else. And you have to have that open mind. You can't just be like, it's not Harrison Ford. It's not the same. Same with Black Widow. Like, you have to have, as a female, you're coming on to me as a female. We have been in a generation with Marvel where we haven't been given the opportunity to get indulged in our Marvel characters. We have penises. That's it. We have Captain America.
A lot of Chris's with penises.
A lot of Chris's with penises. And I want some vaginas. I want vaginas. I want some women. I want some curves. I want something to look up to. And Black Widow is something that I have craved for so long. She has such an in-depth character. And yes, she did die in the last movie. I get that. It doesn't negate from the fact she has a depth in her story. And that's why we need to tell that story. I don't care if she's dead now. We need to know what happens before.
Well, I think, Van, you prove a good point, and we have obviously different points. But my problem is, see, the story, you know where it takes place, where they're going to tell the story? It's right after Civil War.
Okay.
So we're going to tell the story right after that phase, and that's part of the reason I'm not excited, is because if you're going to tell her story, I'm with you. Let's go back to the ballerina school and do it better. But they're not. They're going to go back to Civil War and how that handled. And
I will take anything on Black Widow because they negated to give us any depth with that character, and we've been craving it. We've been waiting for it. And you know what? Maybe it's not what we wanted, but I need something. I need something for her because honestly, you saw the last movie. Tony Stark was praised when he died. What did we get for Black Widow?
She got screwed.
Yeah, exactly. And as a woman, I want to see her praised. I want to see her honored, and I'm excited to see her story.
Would you rather her just come back from the dead or a multiverse version of her and move forward? You still want to go backwards?
I want to go back and see where she came from.
I guess that's where the frustration for me is, because I'm all for women characters, just so we're clear, and I feel like Marvel does not have enough.
Exactly.
Let's agree on that.
We agree.
But all I'm just saying is they're forcing in the one they have because I understand why, and that's a fair reason. I'm just frustrated because it's like, why'd you kill her? Why, like, you gave me a good ending to her, and now we're going to go back and tell a weird B story?
I don't think it's telling a B story. I think it's just giving her justification as a character. I think it's showing where she stemmed from, showing how she became
But we're going
she was.
Not to cut you, I'm sorry, but we're going to Civil War. We're not going, like, beyond that.
Matter. Like, we're still showing the character how she developed.
Right, but we saw her develop during that time period.
No, you didn't see everything. Did you see every stage of her life in that time?
I saw enough.
In your opinion.
Yeah, well, sure, we're having
But
opinions
like
here.
everyone's got different opinions. As a female, I want to see everything that like developed her into the character she is. I want to see why she decided she wanted to give her life for the rest of the gang.
So you want to see the horror that she's lived and the people she's killed.
I want to see everything, and I feel she deserves that as a character. I feel like we've seen enough from Captain America, we've seen Iron Man. I love those characters. I don't feel like she's been given justification as a character, and she's as much as the Avengers as anyone else, and she deserves that.
Well, so I'll give you this and changing my mind. If we go back and we actually have the historical moments where we see her being that character, I would be more interested. But from everything we're being told so far, we're seeing her in the phase post Civil War is what I'm told.
I'm sorry, have you seen the movie yet?
Well, no, I've read what the writers have said, but I've read what the writer has talked about.
They tell you things to keep you off the track. So how do you know for sure until you see the movie?
Sure, but we can only base things off of what we know, right? What we're told.
But you don't know.
Sure, and all I can know is based off what I know so far. I'm not excited.
So you have to keep an open mind because you don't know. Like, how many times have writers told you things that don't actually happen?
That who told me things?
Writers in general.
Oh.
They tell you they're going to cover storylines that don't happen. Right? They do it all the time. So you have to keep an open mind on this specific character. Like every other Avenger, you know the backstory.
Right, I don't want more backstories. I want to move forward.
Well, you have a penis, so you don't. But like, you know what? As a female, I want to see where Black Widow came from.
So, but you only females. You don't want to see do you want to see the males?
I've seen the males.
So you don't care about any more female or male origin stories?
I've already seen all the male origin stories. Why do I need to see any more?
Well, I don't want to see male or female origin stories is what I'm trying to say. It has nothing to do with
personal preference.
Yeah, I think for sure.
Yeah.
We see them a lot because we've seen them over and over again.
Yeah, but like you haven't seen anything with Black Widow.
I mean, that's fair. She hasn't done a lot, and I think they should have done it a while ago, but I'm still...
So you're bitter because of the time frame? Because of how the producers decided they wanted to release the movies?
I'm not bitter. I'm not excited. I'm not... No, I'm just having a calm... You sound bitter because I have a penis.
I mean, if you say so. If you say so.
But I don't know. I didn't want it to be about that. But my point is, like, I'm not excited, as the sign says. I'm just not excited about the movie because
you're gonna say that.
Because I like her character, and I feel like they did her really good justice in Endgame. She had I got emotional when she died. That scene with her and Clint, I think, was really probably the best scene she's had in the whole saga because she saw her sacrifice herself for someone who she knew.
That's her best scene, her sacrificing herself for someone else.
No, that whole struggle when she has the trying to bring Clint back. Because they both went through the same schools, remember?
Yeah, right? I understand.
So that's why they connect, because they've done terrible things, and he's lost his family, and she feels for him, and she knows she's done terrible things.
But you don't want to know why she's got to that point?
I feel like I do. My point is I heard it. They told me. I got enough.
You think that's justification enough of what they told you?
Sometimes I don't need a story to just pound me over the head with it. Sometimes, like, sometimes it's pretty...
Been covered in a story or a movie.
But in my opinion, they have covered it because
because they told.
Because you're making a lot of assumptions on what her backstory is.
But
and why it's going to be
assumptions on her backstory is.
No, I don't know what the backstory is. I can only base this off what I know, but you're saying it's going to be exciting because we're going to learn all of these things. So you're assuming too.
No, but you're assuming in the sense that you're like, I don't need to see it because I know what it is.
No, I don't want to. I'm not excited to see it because from what I've been told by the writers. So why are you excited for it?
Because I'm excited because as a female, like I told you before, we have...
I meant from a plot perspective.
Do you want to keep interrupting me or do you want me to tell you why?
But I meant from a plot perspective, because I understand the female perspective.
You're talking about assumptions, but the fact is you're basing your whole opinion on an assumption. You're saying that, like, I don't need to hear about it because I know what the writers have told me and I know what, like, the outskirts of it is. But the fact is you've not seen a movie. You've not seen what she's gone from point A to point B. You've just seen, like, points from the Avengers movies, but you're fine with that because you've seen all the other characters' movies.
But you just made an assumption about me, did you not? Why do you think I'm fine with that?
Isn't that what you're doing right now?
No, but can I just call you out? Because you keep calling me out. You're making an assumption that I enjoyed all those movies. Why do you assume that?
What do you mean assumptions of movies?
You're telling me what I like.
No, I said you're justified with the storyline because you've seen the other movies.
Right, but it's not all male movies. It was just the Avengers as a team. I consider her Avenger.
Actually, all male movies. There's no female-based movie except for Captain Marvel, and she's not in that movie.
Right, but I'm saying in the Avengers, she's not part of the Avengers?
She is, but like
she's an Avenger?
There's character-based movies that you're content with, and she hasn't got her own, so why are you content with those movies but not hers?
Well, I'm content with her movies in the ensemble movies because she's part of the ensemble.
It's not her movie because it's not her movie.
Yeah, but I don't...
She's an ensemble, it's not
the only origin movie I like is Iron Man.
And it's Iron Man's movie, not Black Widow's.
And Iron Man, we wouldn't have any of these movies without Iron Man.
You're content with...
But I don't care about the other origin stories. Is all I'm trying to make clear.
So what are you doing?
I didn't need Thor. I didn't need Captain America. I didn't need any of those.
So what are you doing? Are you not like arguing that you don't need her movie? Like, aren't you like based on the Marvel movies? So all those movies are in that franchise, but you're saying you're not content with them, even though that's what you're arguing?
I'm saying I'm not excited on the idea of going back and seeing a story from a period we've already seen.
What happened in Endgame with Captain America?
What happened in Endgame with Captain America?
Yeah, about him going back and the fact that he, didn't do what he did and he went back and he died and everything. That's going back in the story, right?
I mean, that was about time travel.
It's going back in the story, right?
Yeah, and I didn't like that part of it.
So
it doesn't make any sense either, does it?
Yeah,
how did he go back and be with Peggy and then not affect all of the timelines? So it kind of gave me a headache.
Are you telling me you don't like Endgame?
I don't like parts of it.
So why are you arguing with people if you don't even like all the Marvel movies?
I like some of them.
So why are you arguing with people?
Just because we're having a conversation?
He's arguing about Marvel movies he doesn't even like all of them. Regardless, you know what? As a male generation, of course, you're going to assume that, you're happy because you got to see all your characters develop from where they began and how they became who they were. As a female, we didn't get that justification. We didn't get to see Black Widow come into that. We saw Captain Marvel. That's all we've had.
Did you like Captain Marvel?
I did like Captain Marvel. I did. And as Endgame, because we're talking about that, I didn't like how they showed her in Endgame. There were some things about Endgame that I did not enjoy. That being said, I do feel like it's heavy.
So wait, you're not a Marvel fan? You didn't like Endgame. I thought, how can you be a Marvel fan?
That's what he said. I'm going to punch you in the face.
You just called me out because I'm not an Endgame fan.
I
wouldn't agree. I bet you were in a lot more in agreement.
All he complains about.
I bet you were actually in a lot more agreement than she thinks.
No. Overall, I'm just being like, I love debate and I
know, that's what we're having here. Yeah.
I'm all about it, but like honestly, being a female, we haven't had justification, and I know from your point of view, I get where you're coming from. I get the point of like, hey, this is in the past, why do we need to talk about it? As a female, I want to see where a story stem from. I know we've had like bits and pieces, but I want to see the whole story, and this is something I've been waiting for the last... Whenever she came into it, whenever like she came in for Iron Man 2, or whenever she like made her appearance,
Man
2. When she came into that, I've always been a fan of Black Widow, and I wanted to see where she stemmed from. And I thought from that point, they were going to make her Black Widow movie, and they haven't. And you know what? It's late, but I'm still excited about it.
But and just so I can make sure we're clear, like I love Black Widow. I'm all for a movie for Black Widow. And I'm all for female superheroes. Marvel does not have enough. I think we agree on that.
Agree.
And they should have done more earlier, and they should have made this movie earlier.
Yes.
And my only thing where you're going to jump on me is I don't want to just force a female character in without a good story, because I think that does a disservice to female characters.
You don't think she has a good story?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, TBD, right? We'll see it.
Yeah, but I don't feel like you can have justification in like assuming she's not going to have a good story. Out of all the Marvel characters depth-wise, I feel like she's going to have the depth in her story where we can go back and it's going to be a great movie. I have high hopes. You may not. We'll agree to disagree. I'm very excited about it.
There you have it. I like that we can agree to disagree, and thank you for we ended civilly there. I appreciate it. But very nice conversation. Yes, enjoy. All right, here we go. Enjoy it. I'm glad you will.
Thank you so much.
Multi Pass. Well, there you have it. I don't know how she honestly feels about me. I assume she doesn't like me that much, but I appreciated the fact that she took the time to engage and attempt to change my mind, and I'm grateful that we found some civil middle ground there at the end. So Leeloo Dallas Multi Pass, thank you so much. Speaking for me, I had a blast engaging with you, so thank you for taking that time. What did you guys think? Leave your comments down below. What other topics would you like to see me cover at future Comic Cons or other events? I'd love to do more of these. It's always fun to have this conversation. If you didn't see our first one, you can see Thor's One Gender Changed My Mind, and you can see the rest of the conversations on this topic over here. You can also subscribe. I'd love your support. I'm so close to 100,000 subscribers. And right here, you can support my Kickstarter. If you support this Kickstarter, it allows me to get funded to create this project and others that I'm very excited about. So please check it all out. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you soon.